Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I will be ranking all 68 books I read in 2024. This is a first of this kind. I've never done a tier ranking video, so we'll see how this goes. On the books I've got here, they're actually 70, but I accidentally duplicated 68 is the final number, which is just absolutely amazing. Before I get into it, please like, subscribe, and tell us what you think in the comments. This is going to be a more laid back video. If you want more in-depth book reviews, I have a playlist for that. Go check it out. Let's get into it. First up, we're starting with a big one. Affirmative Action Around the World, an Empirical Study by Thomas Sowell. Where does this go? This was a good book. Very informative book. I want to say B tier for now. It may go up to A tier, but I think it'll be B tier for now. Sowell is a divisive figure amongst lefties and even amongst black people because he is a black conservative. And in this book, he empirically studies affirmative action programs around the world, from Nigeria to Pakistan, India, and America, of course. Very informative book, very good book. Bowling Alone, A tier, probably might go up to S tier. Extremely good book about loneliness and how to revive community. Exceptional book. Crooked Kingdom, Leigh Bardugo. Is that A tier? Is that S tier? Oh god. Wow. Why am I hovering around A tier for? Let me pull it here. Let me pull it here for now. Do not crucify me. Let me pull it here. Next up, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I actually, like an idiot, forgot to include this in my best books of 2024 list, my top 10. This is straight up S tier. Absolutely fantastic book. If you have not read it, go and read it. It is fantastic. This was a reread as well. I read it for the first time a decade ago when I was a teenager. So, but yeah, exceptional. Gendercide and Genocide. This is an anthropology about, well, as the title suggests, gendercide and genocide, looking at a whole bunch of things about mass killings, going back in history, looking back at genocides like the Rwanda genocide, obviously the Holocaust naturally, and others around the world, and great contributors in this book. It has to be S tier because it is probably the most important book I read this year. Top two most important books I read this year. So yeah. Oh wow. Okay, look what we got here now. All right, let me sort out the Harry Potters. The Philosopher's Stone, magical. The first one, iconic, probably the most iconic book cover of all time. Prisoner of Azkaban, also up there. What J.K. Rowling packs in 300 pages is nuts. Half-Blood Prince will be A. This would have been S during my reread in 2020, but it kind of dropped down a bit. Let me skip this for now. Let me do the Harry Potter's. Goblet of Fire, probably. And I have videos for all my Harry Potter books, my reviews of them. Goblet of Fire, the highest rated one for me. It's my second favorite, but highest rated one. My favorite, Order of the Phoenix. This gets hate, but it is legit. Then obviously the last one, absolute perfection, damn near perfection. Second highest rated, I think. No, third behind Order of the Phoenix. Third highest rated behind The Prisoner of Azkaban. And then if I am to just do Chamber of Secrets, probably B tier, just compared to the other books I read. I'm feeling like dropping Half-Blood Prince to B tier, but we'll see. Alright, and Ember in the Ashes. Again, I finished this around the same time I finished The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and I forgot to include it on my list of top 10 books I read this year, but a definite S tier. Can't wait to see what else goes on the series. The Future of Gender Politics, good book, decent enough book, but I read, actually that would probably be D. I actually gave it a good rating, a very good rating, but compared to the books I read this year, I had quite the year. Again, My Sister's Keeper. I actually didn't like this book at all, to be honest with you. I preferred the movies over the book, My Sister's Keeper. My Sister's Keeper film is 10 out of 10. Love it. I rewatch it every few years and it still gets me. I Am Legend is a classic book and is going in the D tier. I actually did not like it. it's not it. D tier. Scorched Trials, I had my rereading of the Maze Runner series this year also, and I was definitely disappointed, which is unfortunate because I love the films. Scorched Trials will be D tier also. Seeing Like a State, how certain schemes to improve the human condition have failed. Ooh, it's either A or S. I'm gonna put it S tier. Epic book. This is greatly beloved and for good reason. Scott, just really explores and analyzes ideology such as socialism, high modernism, and he looks back on, certain events and certain regimes and how they just totally failed at making life better for their people. Great book. Techno-Feudalism, What Killed Capitalism by Yanis Varoufakis is a very good book. I wouldn't say very good book, it's a good book. It'll be C tier. It was a decent read. Sorry I'm Late, I Didn't Want to Come, An Introvert's Year to Living Dangerously by Jessica Pan. It was actually quite a quirky, decent, good book. Again, that'll be an S tier. Jade City by Fonda Lee, the beloved fantasy book. Booktubers love this. It's definitely B tier. I liked it, didn't love it, but I'm looking forward to the rest of the series. The Death Cure. This is the third book in the Maze Runner series. Again, D tier. It was a disappointing reread all around, but that book cover is absolutely elite. Next up, Stamped from the Beginning, a definitive history of racist ideas in America by Ibram X. Kendi. Very important history book. I would definitely put it in the B tier for this year. Very good. Memory Wood, this was a bad mystery, kidnapping sort of story. Not good. The Parcel, would probably be C tier. I struggled to rate this book. I have a video about it. The prose are wonderful in that book, but that's just about it really. It's a good book. Let me not just say just about it casually like that. It's a pretty decent book. Man Enough by Frank Pittman. Again, B tier. This is a good book. It's kind of self-help-ish kind of books. Like it's kind of like a wise words from an old man kind of book. It's pretty decent. The Rise of Africa's Middle Class, another anthology. This definitely a very important book to read. Very introspective. Misjustice, How British Laws Fail in Women. I'll put that in the C for now. That was a pretty decent book. I liked it. Where Sleeping Girls Lie is a YA murder mystery type weird book. Not good at all. White Knight, I accidentally duplicated this. This will be here as well. Dostoevsky, not a good book. Not a Penny More, Not a Penny Less by Jeffrey Archer is a pretty decent book. I put it in the C tier. It's about these four men in the UK who basically get swindled and scammed by this super sketchy businessman, and they devise a way to get back at him and get exactly all the money that they were scammed out of. Hence the title, Not a Penny More, Not a Penny Less. Decent enough book. The Shadow of the Gods, no. This was not it. This was not it at all. I was disappointed in this because I thought this was going to be good. Granted, John Gwynne can write action scenes, but that's just about it. Maze Runner, again, series as a whole was a disappointment. The Inmate, not a good book. The Will to Change, I will put this in the C tier. Definitely overrated, but Bell Hooks' prose is just absolutely wonderful. She has probably some of the best writing I've ever read in a book ever. But it's feminist literature. You gotta take it with a grain of salt. At the moment, D tier is looking absolutely nuts. And here's me saying that it was a good year for reading, but alas, we have not finished yet. White Rage was a pretty decent book. Pretty decent, short, introductory for sure, in terms of if you want to learn about American racism. A few of the stories that Anderson relays in that are wild, but it is what it is. World War Z, I will put this in the B tier. This is different from the films. In the book, we go all around the world at certain points during the zombie apocalypse, and basically the authors interviewing survivors and they're retelling their story. The chapters are pretty short, some better than others, but when they were good, I felt as though I just wish there's sirens going off in the background. I just wish that their stories were explored more. So it is what it is. The Satsuma Complex, not a good book. Horrible book. And look at that, finally we're going back to Estes. Normal People, fantastic. Just this really just got to me. Let me just reshuffle some of these quickly, because I'll try. I'm gonna do a ranking of them as well. So yeah, I like that. Then this was Man Enough better than Jade City? No. Was World War Z? Actually no. World War Z wasn't better than Jade City. No. Affirmative action. Okay, I like that. What's this one? The World of Ascension. Oof. I got a video coming up with that. Not good. Well, I wouldn't say not good. Above average, which is a shame. On the Beach will definitely be. It's high on the D tier. I originally DNF'd this years ago, and then while I was I finished rereading the Hunger Games series, and for some reason I was like, because I DNF'd halfway through, so I was like, let me just bang out the rest of this. So I read it in one afternoon. I read the other 50% in one afternoon and loved it. Well, I say loved it. I love the ending. The ending is very heartfelt. But yeah, that's about it. Slow pacing. It's basically about nuclear war. We're set in Australia, and a nuclear war has taken place and decimated the rest of the world. The rest of the world is radiation is sweeping through the rest of the world, and it's slowly heading south towards Australia. There's no qualms that it's happened. The residents we follow, they know this, and we're just waiting for death. And so we're exploring these people as they wait for death. It's a very civilized post-apocalyptic book, or apocalyptic book. And I've got two other books that are very civilized post-apocalyptic books, and I do not like civilized in my dystopians, in my post-apocalyptic books at all. It's got to be a madness. It has to be a madness. Work, a history of how we spend our time. I'll probably put that D tier. World of Ascension will definitely go to the top of this. We'll do this like this. Wills of Change can go up. Yeah, I like that. Gentrification, a working class perspective. Decent enough book. It's definitely C tier. I'll probably put it there. Austerity, a history of how we spend. No, sorry. Next up, Austerity, the history behind a dangerous idea. Crazy. This is, remember when I said Gender and Genocide was the most important book? Austerity is literally right up there. Everyone's got to read that book. Men and Development, politicizing masculinities or something like that. Another anthology, pretty decent book. I'll definitely put it up here. Yeah, right there is good. Yeah, I like that. Conditions of Love, the Philosophy of Intimacy. Yeah, I'll probably put that about there. It's okay. Short read. You can skip it really. Unequal Childhood is definitely up here. I'll put it about there. Sociologist Annette observes children from working class, middle class, white backgrounds, black backgrounds, and just observes the differences between the way middle class children and working class children are raised. I have a video about it. It is fantastic. Fashion and its social agendas. This is also talking about class. There's a lot about class in here. This was a good book. I'll probably pop it right there. Pretty decent book. Very textbooky, but very good. Social Class in 21st Century, probably the third most important book I read this year. Pop that right there. Faith, Seeking Understanding, an Introduction to Theology. Very good book. That will probably be A tier. Pop that right there. White Mask, Black Beast. I'll put it right there. Very heavy on the Freudian and Marxist analysis. A Popular Sky to 2020 was pretty decent. I'll pop it right there. Africa, Why Economists Get It Wrong, definitely A tier. Put that right there. That was a good book. The Philosophy of Religion was a pretty decent book. I'll put that high up here. Pretty decent. The Woman in the Body, an Analyst of Reproduction, I believe is the subtitle. This was an important book. I liked it. Not that highly rated. Well, no, it is rated well, to be fair. Black Rednecks and White Liberals, Thomas Sowell again. B tier, probably pop it right there. Again, I like this book. I like Sowell's writing, even though I can see the flaws in his arguments. I appreciate his perspective. The Unit, remember I was talking about cozy, slow, comfortable, post-apocalyptic books. The Unit is one of them. I'll probably pop that right there. The Children of Men is another, but that's actually somewhat decent. So I'll pop it. Here's the thing about fiction and non-fiction, isn't it? Probably right there. C tier. White Knight's already got. That was one of the duplicates that I did. Red Rising was a very, very, very good book. Very good book. Did I like it more than Crooked Kingdom? Yeah, I rated it maybe 0.6 above Crooked Kingdom, but I think Crooked Kingdom is above it, really and truly. The Final Empire. This would go B tier. Over JC or not over JC? I'll put it over JC. I'll put it right there. Blindness by Jose Saramago is literally just flying right up here. Fantastic book. You need to read that book. The Inmate, that's another book that I duplicated accidentally. Behind Our Eyes, the worst book I've read this year. The worst book I've actually ever read in my life. The Runaway, C tier. It was a reread. This was my favorite book as a teenager. It was gritty, but not for me this time. The Fever Code was B tier. Probably put that right there. The Kill Order right next to it. Those two were head and shoulders above the original trilogy, which is quite weird. And now the Hunger Games. Oh my god. And then just the Hunger Games. Oh, this will go probably right there. Catching Fire, probably just go ahead of it. Mockingjay is B tier. I'll put it here right next to Jade C. And then this is quite strange. This is quite strange, but because I have so many in the C and D tier. I like a lot of the C tier I liked ish. Maybe besides not those two. These so they just don't hold up. B was pretty good. A, I'm surprised there's not that many in A. Then but the S tiers were just so strong. I read some of the most important books I'll probably ever read in my life. So I can't complain. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.